Hi, good evening everyone. This is Shivrasad Yadav. Till the last video, we have seen the definition, detailed definition of democracy. Now we will see types of democracy. Now, democracy is of two types: direct democracy and indirect democracy. Now, before going to direct democracy and indirect democracy, the students are suggested to not to get confused with direct elections and indirect elections. There is a possibility of getting mixed up with direct democracy and direct elections and indirect democracy with indirect elections. Actually, direct democracy is a different concept and direct elections are different concept, and indirect democracy is a different concept and indirect elections are different concept. So there is no such kind of similarity is there or relation is there between direct democracy, indirect democracy and direct elections and indirect elections. And one more thing before going with these two things, there are certain things which are happening in recent times for the last 1 decade with respect to direct democracy concept and indirect democracy concept, because there is a Brexit referendum, and till recent times there is a struggle from the Jammu and Kashmir people to conduct a referendum in Jammu and Kashmir, and such kind of things which are related to direct democracy are happening in all over the world in democratic nations. Like, we have some elements like plebiscite, we have some elements like referendum, recall, initiative. Such things are happening in recent times, and as the social media approach is increasing, the people are more aware of the things related to policy matters of the government actually. So they are questioning directly or indirectly through this social media on a particular topic, and when they are questioning on policies, when they are objecting the policies of the government through the social media, which is again to certain policies, that is nothing but on the basis of sedition laws, there will be a problem. So democracy, direct democracy and indirect democracy. Before going to these definitions, we are supposed to give some sort of introduction to these things: social media, the sedition laws, increasing awareness of the people with respect to the policies which are coming out of from the parliament, blah blah blah, etc. So come to this one: direct democracy and indirect democracy. Direct democracy means the people who are elected by the people. For example, this individual is being elected by the people, and he has taken a law, he has introduced a law, or he has designed an act, or he made a policy which actually not liked by these people who elected this individual. In direct democracy, these people can directly say no to the policies made by this individual. That means policies made by the lawmakers, policies made by the government, they can say no. If there is such possibility is there, then that is direct democracy. They can directly give their opinion openly. They have this opportunity of saying no. And in direct democracy, there is no such thing of saying no to the policies made by the policy makers. They cannot recall the elected people. In this case, direct democracy, they can call back them. Calling back them is nothing but recall. So such recall facility is not there in indirect democracy. Such recall facility will be there in direct democracy, because whatever the direct democratic nations are there at present, for example, you take Switzerland. There you will find small units called cantons. For example, in India you find districts, towns. Likewise, in Switzerland you find cantons. So in cantons, people directly give their opinion by raising their hands. Okay, we are against to this or we are accepting this. As the area is very small and the population is very small, in such cases you can have this direct democracy. But when it comes to India, huge population, so such kind of recall things and such kind of saying no to the policies is not possible directly. Although people say orally and informally they were against to the policies, but officially they cannot do anything with respect to the policies made by this policymaker in this case. But these people can do something. They can say no, they can reject the policies made by the people. That is direct democracy. If the people are having their right to their right to power, whatever the power they have, here also the people are having such kind of power. Here also the people are having such kind of power, right to say no, right to say no. Here they cannot exhibit it openly. Here they can exhibit it openly and it will be cancelled out. In this case there is no such policy. So no recalling of any policy or any law or any act made by the policymaker, nothing but the you can take the Parliament of India. So no such thing is possible here in indirect democracy. But whereas in direct democracy, such things are possible. People can reject the policies. Here, people cannot reject the policies made. Once they have elected particular person, entire thing will be, power will be in the hands of that individual or that group of people only. Here no such thing. They can say no, they can reject. That kind of democracy is called direct democracy. But in between these two, one is positive and one is negative. As the people representatives are not having enough power to make legislations, at any time the people can say no to the policies made by the legislatures. This is negative. When you are discussing about or when you are talking about and when you are speaking about democratic principles, this is against to democratic principles. Once you have given the power to a group of people or an individual, then it is that person's responsibility only. The people cannot interfere once they have elected. Here, once they have elected the people, then the entire power will be there in the hands of the legislative body only, or in the hands of the legislators only. So this is a true sense of democracy. So in true sense of democracy, this is negative because the people are interfering. There is no interference of the people. So this is positive in terms of democratic principles. Once again I am repeating, if the people are electing some individual or group of individuals and letting them to rule, now whatever the law making authority has to be there, it should be there in the hands of these people only. The power should be in the elected people only. In that case, people cannot interfere in policy making. Here the people will interfere in policy making. That's why this is a negative thing in democracy. So when we are speaking about or when we are discussing about these democratic principles and true democratic principles or true democracy, this is negative because people are interfering in law making process. This is positive because ultimate power lies in the hands of the people, elected by the people only. So once again I am repeating, if any policy is made by the legislature, they can be rejected. In direct democracy, such kind of power will not be there in the hands of the people. That is indirect democracy. And here people interference will be there. So this is a negative concept in democracy. Here, there is no such interference of the people. Ultimate power lies in the hands of the legislative body only. So, this is an example of true democracy. This is a positive thing in democracy. So, this is all about direct democracy and indirect democracy up to now. And there are some instruments in direct democracy called like the students are supposed to learn those things also. Here we have recall. The very first thing is recall. So whatever the law made, it can be recalled, and the people can participate in budget making process, that is called initiative. It is of to any kind of initiative taken by the people with respect to budget making or solving their own issues is a part of initiative only. This is of two types: formal initiative and informal initiative. Informal initiative, for example, best example for initiative is Brazil. Actually, in Brazil, people form different groups and they will discuss about their problems. They will find a solution for that, and then they will arrange a budget for that, and ultimately they design a solution for their problem. So that is initiative. If the initiative is explained to the respective authorities orally, then it is informal initiative. If it is given as a detailed document, dear sir, we are having these kind of problems and we have these solutions, we need this amount of budget, like that written document is, if written document is given to the respective authorities of the government, then it is a formal initiative. So initiative is of two types: formal initiative and informal initiative. In India also we have this kind of thing, although we come into indirect democracy. In Pune Municipal Corporation, we have a concept called priority based budgeting. Whatever the problems are there, they are get solved by their own people of Pune. So that is a part of participatory budgeting, and participatory budgeting is a part of formal initiative. So in India also we have very less extent we have this formal initiative, and after that we have referendum. This is one more tool, and this is plebiscite. This is one more tool. So four tools of direct democracy. Actually, they are not part of indirect democracy. All these four are part of direct democracy. Whenever this direct democracy and the tools of democracy comes like recall, initiative, referendum, plebiscite, please remember about Pune Municipal Corporation. They did some beautiful things by using the concept priority based budgeting. Priority based budgeting is a part of formal initiative actually. So recall, initiative, referendum, plebiscite are a part of direct democracy. They are not part of indirect democracy. These are the tools in the hands of, or these are the tools of direct democracy. They are nowhere related to indirect democracy, although very little amount of this thing is there in India in Pune Municipal Corporation. So this is all about types of democracy. Direct democracy and indirect democracy. If people can interfere in policy making, that is direct democracy. If they cannot interfere, it is indirect democracy. In true democratic context, this is a negative thing, this is positive thing. And finally, the tools of the direct democracy are recall, initiative, referendum, and plebiscite. And try to remember, in case of adding one small state on the basis of Article 2B acquired state concept, in between these two we have used, the Indian government have used one concept, either referendum or plebiscite. Try to answer that one. And if you want to know more about all these things, I'll be explaining in separate videos. Recall in a separate video, initiative in a separate video, because that is a very beautiful thing related to participatory budgeting and referendum and plebiscite. So that's all related to direct democracy and indirect democracy concepts. In my next session, I'll take legislature. Thank you.